this week, we're going to talk about something more important when it comes to gaming. Yes, we love gameplay, but also things that stick with us, the nostalgia that stays with us isn't so much the gameplay, it's more the stories that entwine us, the stories that drive us, the desire to find out more about the world that we are in, the world that we are engrossed in, the things that we end up talking about, the things that we get hung up on, and the different things that affect us about how we think about the game.
Hello, I'm here again. Good afternoon.
So, how you doing, homie?
Oh, well, my entrance was so much better this time round.
You're welcome, my good friend. You know the job. Give yourself an introduction.
Hi, guys. I am Ashen Lux. You know me well as your content general manager. I found the Wicked Wolves a long time ago. As you know, I've been with them like nearly a year now. It's been a while. Love them, appreciate them, and games I love to play are RPGs, which is why I'm here on the law and this stuff about story games because it's my jam.
Hey guys, what's up? How's it going?
Hi, Jerry. I'm glad
so, there's something different about Jericho. Hint, hint. What could that be? Jericho, share with us.
I honestly don't know what you're talking about. I mean, like...
oh my god! Oh my god!
Sorry.
Stop! The reflection of the sun on your head is blinding.
Malfunction here. Hang on. Let me. Wait. Hang on. Yeah. Still there. Okay. Just gonna hold on. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, we're good.
Yes, we can hear you, darling.
Sorry, it was a bit cold, so I had to. The stuff that I have to go through, it was a bit chilling.
Oh, jeez. All right, back to what you're supposed to be talking about.
Right.
Introduce yourself, homie, your name, your role, how you found us, and what games you like to play.
Lovely. Cool. Hey, guys. My name is Jericho the Gamer, as I go as. Some of you guys may know me. My role is the content manager. Currently taking a holiday break from everything, but I can say no to this podcast. Thank you, Ashen, for getting in touch with me. I love you. Found the Wicked Wolves on social media, and I've been with the group for like... since March. Oh, stop it, Jungle Man! Stop. Oof. I've been here for
like. He's out of your league, 5-man jungle. Even if there are 5 of you. Go ahead, Jericho. Sorry.
That's okay. I've been for like since February, I'd say. So still not long, but it's good enough. Games I like to play. It's similar to Ash as well. RPG. Also like to play horror games. Currently playing The Witcher. The Adventure of Van Helsing, still playing Mortal Kombat as well, still grinding in there to get to the top. And I'm just exploring throughout the variety of games.
Holla, holla, holla.
There he is.
Holla!
I haven't been on here since anniversary. So as the beautiful Ashen's introduced me, I'm the Demon Viking. My name's actually Chris. I am the Vice President of Recruitment and IT. I found Wicked Wolves, a month after it started, 2 months after it started, rose through the ranks of directors. I've been in the position ever since. The games I like to play, mainly I'm playing For Honor, strategy games, Command and Conquer, Civilization games, horror games, too many games, but mainly it's Battery and For Honor, which I like to play. It's a pleasure to be here again, and I can't wait to get this lore video started.
Cool. Well, when obviously we brought up the idea of this podcast and I was looking into it, the only game that I could think of was Dragonage. Like, I'm obsessed with that game, so much so that I got a Dragonage tattoo, like on my smack bang in the middle, because that game is everything to me. I know it from start to finish, Origins through to Inquisition and everything in between. Literally could talk about it for weeks, but obviously can't do that. But
please don't. We got other people who need to talk, but go ahead. Sorry.
With Dragonage, I feel like it's one of those games that, like, I don't know whether everyone has that sort of thing, but it's a game I always come back to. It's a big, heavy story game, but it's like one of those ones where the lore or like in the story of it always brings me back in, and I'll always want to play it and do it a different way and do it again a different way, or like be evil, be good, do the different romances in the game. And I think that Dragonage is like, I don't know, it's up there with Mass Effect, isn't it? The two like massive RPGs, other than like World of Warcraft and such like that. It's like a massive lore game that you just can't avoid, and I love it so much.
Can you give us like basics of the story? I mean, how many games have there been now with Dragon Age?
Right. Well, there's the main 3, but there's obviously all the little like side stories and side things that you can play in the online one as well, which I don't think many people know that it has an online game. I think it was one of those things that a lot of people overlooked because it was Inquisition. But essentially, it starts from Origins, which is a really detailed, like medieval-esque story of like kings overthrowing each other and all that sort of jazz. And you play like a daft little like. I don't know. Like you go in, you're lost in the world, and they take you in, and they make you one of the. I can't. Jesus, I've lost their name now because there's so many things I'm thinking about. You essentially brought in to be made into like this mage-esque person, which is like saving the world, and like you're going to go around and save the world. Like essentially, you're just a randomer, and you try to make your way through the quest line and go through all of these kings, queens, and all that sort of thing. And like it's just again it's like overthrowing the government. And the storyline for number 2, in my opinion, is probably the best one because it doesn't just go through random. And number 1, you get to be this family member of Hawks who they essentially rise from the ranks from being like nobody to something. And it's all his story or her story because you can choose to be a female character. And it's one of those things where like it's not all randomly generated. You get to look like Hawk and be Hawk throughout his entire storyline and romance people and rise through the ranks. And you get to decide what side you get to pick in the end. And it's I'm trying not to spoil it. I don't know how many things are going to be like spoiled in this.
It's got to be spoiled anyway.
I
think we should say it from now on as a spoiler alert.
Yeah, I think, otherwise, why the hell are we talking about stories?
Yeah.
Newsflash, we're talking about stories, but we can't talk about stories. So tough luck. We'll just blabber on for an hour. Yeah. But no, spoiler alert. Good call, Chris. Go ahead.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Right. So essentially, the entire story is based around the Qunari, are these big, beastie horned, scary dudes, monsters.
Qunari.
Oh, my ex-wife. Sorry.
And they invade the obviously the land, and Hawk gets involved in it all and has to deal with it all. And you get to decide on whether you side with them or side with the humans and kind of figure out your way around the land. And again, it's very Fable-esque as well. It's really cool.
I noticed Jericho was shaking his head when you said that. I think we all noticed Jericho going, poof, oof, as if he's having a heart attack when you said Dragon Age. The first one wasn't as good. Yeah, there we go, spitting, cursing your ancestors. So the question is, I guess Ashen was more saying that the gameplay had more bugs, but he still liked the story of number 2 better. Jericho, what is your opinion on said matter?
Dragon Age 2 sucks. Just saying. No, it doesn't. No. So, like Ashen, I'm a huge Dragon Age fan as well. So that's 2 of us there. The Origins will always be my favorite because yeah, exactly. Story-wise, it's amazing. There are multiple endings. Same goes with the second game and the third game. It's great. But what I love the most there is like how the combat-wise run throughout that game. There's amazing, a lot of execution move with style that you can hit that really caught my attention. And the romance. You cannot complete the game without a romance. No. Especially the dearly Morgan. And then followed by Liliana.
Liliana's my favorite, without a doubt.
She's a redhead. And Morgan, the blackhead. Those 2 beautiful women. They could be my future wife. You never know. Hey, I might marry them back then in the past, And like the story, or like what you have to go through, it just makes you want to come back, do it all over again, explore some other options as well. Because there's a lot of things you can do. You can keep your companion subject. You can keep your companions from the beginning to the end, or you can kill them or send them away. It depends how things go throughout the entire story. I was always committed to my companions. If I see one companion that betrays me or that leaves, I have to start all over again, no matter how close I am. That's how committed I am. It's a great game. Definitely a great game. Huge respect to BioWare. That's the company that created the game. And it's great.
I only really played Origins. I didn't play the other 2.
Good choice.
Right.
Because I was more inclined with playing Mass Effect at the time, because that was my favorite BioWare game then. But what I liked was the multi-choice questions you could have, the different outcomes. The story was never the same. Even if my companions betrayed me, I didn't care. I just carried on. It's a story. I had one rule: no restarts. So
Very
I lose
sense.
companion. I lose companion. It's as simple as that.
Mm.
Romancing, whatever choice you make can make an impact on the story. That's why I love BioWare back in the day.
Jack.
Now, unfortunately, no. I heard 2 was absolutely bad, and I heard the third one wasn't exactly the best either.
Now, this game I'm going to be talking about, it's where it all started, before Dragon Age and Mass Effect comes along. Like, I'm talking the first game of BioWare that they made. It's called Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic. Yes, it came. Yes, that is why when I started playing Origin, that's why I fell in love with it. It has the same style as the Star Wars. So anyway, before I carry on to that subject, let's move on to Star Wars. So it came out at 2003. That's how old it was. And this game takes place from 4,000 years ago, before the trilogy from like Darth Vader and all the current Star Wars that we are right now. So this is where it holds all the legends like the Mandalorians, the Empire that created the Sith, and then stuff like that. So basically, it all started when we all know the Republic are the keepers of peace. They keep the galaxy safe, and there is an army of Mandalorians who want to take over the galaxy. The Republic calls the Jedi for aid. They turn down because the Jedi are keepers of peace. They don't want to get involved with any wars and all that. But then there are 2 Jedis, who is Revan and Malik. They're the 2 Jedi Masters. They rebel, but brought them with them some younger Jedis with them to help save the Empire, help the Republic to prevent the Mandalorians from taking over the galaxy. While throughout there, as you know, if the Jedi get involved in the war, Darkseid could take over them. Anger, vengeance, because again, Jedis are the keepers of peace. Throughout the mission, the 2 Jedis found an old cave throughout the jungle on one of the galaxies. They found an old Sith Empire there who is leading the war. And then they persuaded one of them to come join the dark side. And they did. And then they just spread hate all over the war, and things have been mayhem ever since. Moving on to decades later, while those 2 Sith Lords, Darth Revan and Darth Malik, they're taking the galaxy, the Jedi send a Knights of Squadron to kidnap one of the Sith Lords. So there are 2 ships, Darth Malik and Revan. One of the ships fired Revan to betray him because they're like, right, I don't want to risk anything. Let's just get rid of him. There can only be one Sith Lord anyway. So that happened. And then moving on, a decade later, you get to play this character, which is your main character. So your mission is to find a specific companion. And once you find that companion, you want to explore every single planet in the galaxy to find a specific called thing, the star map. Because this star map will lead you to a Star Forge, which is an ancient factory, has unlimited power. You can create multiple Sith ships, multiple armies, and everything, and they need to put on a stop to that. Throughout that story, you bump into Darth Malik, and then the character that you're playing all along turns out that he is Darth Revan. Basically, the Jedi wiped away his memory and then turned him into a living weapon as a really badass Jedi to fight against the Sith. And that was a bit of a plot twist there for us. I think that is the biggest plot twist there. It doesn't work how the way I describe it, but if you play the game, it's going to make you think like, yeah, this character I'm playing is a nobody. But turns out you are playing the former greatest Sith Lord out there. And then when it comes to choices like what Ash was talking about, you have the choice to go back to the dark side or the light side or leave on your own. It depends how it goes. The choice is all yours.
Oh, did I play the game? I played both of them.
Nice.
I love it. I love the lore and everything in Star Wars anyway. The biggest mistake, obviously, BioWare did was make a multiplayer RPG.
Agreed.
But at least they got the story correct.
Yes.
My favorite bits in that game is when you first make your lightsaber.
Yes.
I mean, come on. You're using vibro swords and blasters as a Jedi before you finally get to make your own lightsaber.
It's a good hype. It's definitely a good hype. You build yourself up there to earn a lightsaber. You don't get a lightsaber straight away, which I like.
No.
Yeah.
It makes you grind for it, which is what I love.
Yes.
The second Old Republic was brilliant, and then you find out like Darth Treya is actually working against you the whole time.
Yes.
And he tries to kill you.
Yeah.
But when I was playing it, I actually kept the Force in balance. is because
Mhm.
that's
Okay.
what Revan actually did. He kept
That's
it in
correct. He kept it balanced. Yeah.
He was a Jedi who got turned to Sith,
Mhm.
was betrayed.
Yep.
He was found by the Jedi. Whole memory, obviously, was wiped.
Yep.
His memory came back, and he wanted revenge on the Sith Empire's Emperor.
Yes.
Emperor caught him.
Mhm.
He was corrupted again,
Mhm.
and then he eventually brought the Force in balance, and then he hated everyone.
Yep.
He didn't
Sith
trust
included.
no one,
Sith
including
included.
the Sith, including
Yes.
the Jedi, including the Republic, including the Empire.
Everything.
He
Yes.
hated everyone, and he tried to take over the galaxy on his own.
Hmm.
Wow.
And that's why Revan or Darth Revan or Master Revan is easily the best lore character in Star Wars.
I haven't actually played it at all. Like, this is my
Okay.
first time hearing about it. But again, I know enough. I'm quite an avid Star Wars fan myself.
Yeah.
And I agree with you on the movies, but I always quite class them and separate them as it's just Star Wars fan fiction made into a movie. And I'm okay with that because it was good to look at, but the story didn't make any sense. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like.
They don't, we don't talk about them. Forget them. They didn't happen. So
I love all the other games that they've got out. I have played most of them. Obviously, not all of them because this one has totally overlooked me. And now that as soon as Jerry started talking about it, I was like, I would like this. Oh damn, because it sounds very much like.
I'll be streaming it soon when I'm back.
Yeah. It sounds
It's
like
definitely
it's
a
very
game
much
worth
in
playing.
position with Star Wars, and
It's
is it a PC game?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's on PC. Yeah. Well, that's why I missed it.
Game is out on Xbox Gold or whatever the thing is, from what I've been told.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
Xbox subscription, yeah.
intriguing.
The old Xbox, if you guys got the old Xbox, it's out on that
Yeah, it's
too.
on the original.
Yes, the original
Okay.
Xbox. That's why I first played it.
Well, there's no better lore game, and I want you to track go nuts if I say it, than World of Warcraft series.
Yes.
There's way too much lore. There's way too much stories that you sink your teeth into.
Mhm.
And there's probably no popular story in that game than Arthas Menethil becoming the Lich
Okay.
King. Arthas Menethil was born in Lordaeron. I don't know. I forgot what year he was born in. He was born into loyalty. He was a prince. We're going to skip him growing up. Let's say he's now 18. He's got his horse. He's learned to be a paladin. And he's being taught by one of the greatest paladins in history, which is Uther Lightbringer.
Mhm.
And he was his mentor. They trained together. I forgot what the dwarf's name was. Was it Magni Bronzebeard?
Mhm.
I think
We'll call him Dwarf for now.
We'll just call him Dwarf for now. And he's training him as well. They're sparring and everything. He gets his own horse. Unfortunately, his horse eventually does die.
Mm.
And they heard that a plague is being spread around Lordaeron. So Arthas took it on himself to, I was right, it was Magni Bronzebeard. Arthas took it on himself to help eliminate this plague from Lordaeron so it doesn't spread across around the world. So he took the paladins, took his army. Uther went with him. His love of his life eventually joined him, which was Jaina Proudmoore, who was a Kirin mage. And then he found out the guy that was actually spreading it was a Kirin mage called Calphazad. Obviously, they killed him. And then they went eventually to Stratholme. And this is where Arthas's death into darkness starts to come to be. And it's the culling of Stratholme. He orders his own army to go in the city and kill every last human in the city because they're all infected from this plague from the grain. He knew they were dead already, but Uther and Jaina refused to join him. Literally, then he started distrusting everyone. Eventually, once he's going through Stratholme, killing everybody, with the help of you, by the way, if you did do the dungeon, you run into a Dreadlord called Melganis. And this Dreadlord pretty much poised him to go follow him to Northrend. Now, Melganis is a Dreadlord working for the Burning Legion. Now, everyone who's a World of Warcraft fan knows who the Burning Legion is. Sargeras, the big dog Sargeras leads him. He has the Dreadlords, he has demons, he has all sorts of evil corruption. He eventually follows him, and obviously, I can't go too much into depth. There's way too much stories and steps. Eventually, he comes across a cave, and in this cave, he's been hearing a call to him, and it's actually for the blade Frostmourne. This blade is evil, absolute evil blade, and Magni begged him not to, unfortunately, touch this blade. but he needed it to save his people, but it will actually corrupt him. He doesn't know that. He takes the blade. Manly Bronzebeard doesn't die. He gets knocked out. He doesn't die. And then he eventually starts hearing the whispers of the Lich King, who's trapped in Icecrown. The helmet of damnation is in Icecrown. He kills Mal'Ganis, goes back to Lordaeron, kills his father. Literally killed. He was the first soul he was taken. Then starts spreading I forgot what it's called, the Scourge all across Lordaeron. Lordaeron falls. Then eventually he resurrects his own horse, which is actually called Invincible. And you can actually loot him from the actual game itself, which is cool. He has to go to the Sunwell, the Blood Elves. They weren't called Blood Elves this one. They were called High Elves at this point. To use the Sunwell to resurrect Cal'Thuzad as a Lich. He obviously completes his task, resurrects Cal'Thuzad as a Lich, and Cal'Thuzad starts helping him spread the corruption in Lordaeron. He eventually gets called back to Northrend because the Helm of Damnation, who is actually imbued with the spirit of what's his called now? It's an Orca warlock from Shadowmoon Valley. Nazgrim, not Nazgrim, I think it was called. And he has to go back to Northrend to get to Icecrown Citadel to complete the infusion to become the Lich King. Illidan Stormrage, he's from a different story, who's imbued with the power of Gul'dan, when he took the skull of Gul'dan, who's now a demon, goes to stop him. And they have a massive fight in front of Icecrown. Arthas kills him. And before you lore nerds, yes, I know Arthas did kill Sylvanas and raised her as a Lich, but I can't go too far much. I just want to get to the ending now. Stops Illidan in his way, doesn't kill him, he's just injured, and eventually makes his triumphant story up to Icecrown to release Nazgrim from the helm and actually takes over as the Lich King. And then he's frozen until Wrath of the Lich King in the MMORPG. There's way too much story involving Arthas, and that's just the basis of what he's done. But easily one of the best lores and the start of the best classes, as Psycho Jester put in, Death Knights, which was brought in WLTK.
I have played World of Warcraft. I used to play it from very, very young on my granddad's computer and pinch it and jump on his account and play his cool level 60s. And I thought I was like, great with that. I did make my own character eventually and played the game. I think when you're born in our era of like the 90s, I think a lot of kids played it. It's one of those things that you couldn't put down. It's a game that I was really entwined with. Like, I didn't know all of that. That was like, I was listening to that like you were a storyteller there. I was like, whoa.
Well,
like,
most of that was actually not in World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
All that story was actually from Warcraft 3, which was a strategic game back before 2000.
It's like playing every game is really key to knowing like all of the story. So like 90% of that, I was like going nuts. I was like, whoa, that's cool. Oh my God. Because like obviously I know the characters' names, but like the story, I think I've really missed out on, and I might need to go back and play more.
If you ever want to learn anything about lore of World of Warcraft, there's a guy on YouTube called Noble87. He does way so much in-depth lore on all stories on World of Warcraft, and that's how I learned some of them too. Was from him. That's
really cool. I like it.
Very cool.
Never played Warcraft 3, but I was a huge nerd when it comes to World of Warcraft. The story that you described, Chris, is mind-blowing. Like, I didn't know, like, the amount of effort that Arthas had to do in order to process through becoming the Lich King is just insane. Absolutely insane. I thought it was just like, right, grab the sword, put the helmet on, done, rise and dead.
The only reason why he had to return to Icecrown was because Icecrown, the prison where the Helm of Damnation was being held, he forced the sword out of the frozen throne, but it left a crack, and so his power was diminishing, and he begged Arthas to come back. He had no choice.
So they need a vessel.
Linked at this point, so he had to go back.
That's fair. But you know, the story is absolutely insane. Like, there's this a short film that I watched that I recommend that you should watch. It's made by one of the World of Warcraft player, but it's amazing. It almost looks like it looks like a real film. It's called Tales of the Past 3. some of the stories that you mentioned are similar, but they may tweak it a little bit into bringing their own personal character in it and use them as a big, as a huge deal. But in World of Warcraft, I was thinking about getting back into it. I was playing Night Elf 1170, dual wield, two-handed blades, and I got a Death Knight who's like 75. So there's that. It's been almost a decade since I've played it.
And my latest one I'm playing right now is the Ghost of Tsushima. And I think that was one of the few games I've ever got out the week it was released. I got it, I've grabbed it, still haven't finished it. There are times in that game I had to pause the game and put the controller down and just cry my heart out for the character. Literally, I'm tearing up, I'm crying because the intensity of the storytelling, the pain, the suffering that Sucker Punch have put into that, there's no magical staff or sword that's going to save the day. There's no planets aligning or anything like that. It's just you against the Mongol horde. And everything that could go wrong almost does go wrong. For all of your side quests you go on, you try to help as best as you can. If you're lucky, you help. If usually what happens is the opposite happens and you can't do anything about it and it tears you apart. Families are ripped apart. Sons are turning against parents. All of that is happening in the Fog of War, which I can't recall experiencing that in a video game I've ever played. So Sucker Punch took 6 years to make that game. It was well worth it. And I honestly believe that I ranked this better than The Last of Us 2. Reason being is because I know the story of Last of Us 2 now. I've been spoiled, unfortunately, because I was doing research for our cast. For The Last of Us 2 it's more of a video game experience in that you challenged, right? You're challenged morally of the things that you have to do, right? You have to kill certain people you don't want to kill. You have to hurt certain people you don't want to hurt. And that's the challenge there. So that's challenging The Last of Us 2. But the storytelling in The Ghost has rich... I cannot sit longer for 2 hours at a time and play the game because it overwhelms me. This is the beauty and the power of storytelling in video games that they cannot seem to replicate in movies. I wanted to raise that. Remember once we had an episode about video games and movies? Somewhere along the line, the best writers decided to go to video games rather than to movies, in my opinion. Maybe because there's more flexibility, there's more capacity to make an open world and to dig deep into their stories that you wouldn't have the budget otherwise in movies in Hollywood. Look, for example, Demon Viking has gone, he scratched the surface for a good 5 or 6 minutes. You banged on about how amazing the story is, right? And we don't know anything more than that, what you've told us. As amazing as it is, there's still a whole encyclopedia of world out there, right? And that's the same with the Old Republics. That's the same with Dragon Age. Stories are what bring us back to video games again and again and again. And I believe that's one of the main things that video games out there have to hold on to, and I believe are getting better at it as time and technology improves.
Do you want to announce content? You might as well.
Ooh, drum roll, please. Oh my goodness.
Drum roll.
The promo for content this week will be Bears Gaming, because they're absolutely rad. Thank you very much, guys.
Bears Gaming, well done,
Gaming
dude.
will be getting it on Monday, if that's correct.
Yes, Monday. So Mondays is Bears Gaming. So well done to Bears. Really nice 3 gentlemen there. It's PG, but oh well. There we go.
Oh shit!
Well done, lads.
There we go. Bears Gaming with the promo stream.
Well deserved. Keep it up.
Competitive. We've got somebody in particular in mind. This person does some amazing work. And that goes to Joe Hamster.
Hey, well done, Joe.
So Joe Hamster with the promo stream. So let's get some hashtag WWGs in there for them, guys.
Hashtag Joe Meme Lord.
So Joe Hamster with the competitive promo stream. Love it. Joe Millard. What's this all about? George did call it, actually, to be fair. Finally, the support/managers. So this person's relatively new to the support management side. They've done quite well, been very supportive. People's streams, just in general within the Wolves. Friday's promo stream is going to 5-man Jungle Joe. But before we do the announcement, we do need to officially welcome a couple of people to the team. Andrew Wadsley, or goes by, he's joining content creation. Bradley Wilcox, he was a coach within COD. He is joining the content creation team as well. Courtney Farley, I think I've said that right. She's joining as well. Joshua Adams and Scott Farrar. So you guys, welcome to the team officially. Part of the Wolves, part of the pack, exclusive pack around. But let's get this done.
Random name selector. Here we go.
Dun, 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 dun.
You have to press the button for it to select the name.
Here we go.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Dun, 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 dun.
Nubskull with
Hell yeah.
Nubskull. Well done, Mr. Skull of the Nub. Are you there still with us? Nubskull, are you there? Say
She's gonna
something.
love that.
Say hooray. Say huzzah.
Say
Scooby-Doo.
Where you at, lass?
Where,
Nubskull.
Nubskull?
Where is Nubskull?
Where are you at, sweetheart?
Show us your skull, you nub.
There she is.
There you are.
Congratulations.
Well done, nub.
Nubskull with the dub.